Hello, Jackson Middle School students and families. This is Mr. Boland, the principal here. Want to take a couple minutes to make sure we talk about what our remote learning expectations are going to be to make these next 3 weeks, and hopefully only 3 weeks, as successful as they possibly can be. So we are entering Remote 2.0. We will do that from November 30th until winter break. And in that process, we've got lots of opportunities. We're using Google Classroom as our primary learning tool. There will be independent work for students. We will have a bell schedule that is very specific about when classes will meet. We'll have live interactions, we'll have pre-recorded information, and hopefully we'll have good communication back and forth. So that is the plan that we have as a district, and we're going to talk about how at Jackson we're making that work. This is our remote bell schedule. We want to make sure that everybody knows that the remote bell schedule is not the same thing as the bell schedule we have here at school. This is what we started the school year with and what we've tried to send out many times throughout the year about what we want students to do while they're home. And the reason is so that this transition would be as easy as possible. So starting at 9 o'clock, we will start our classes, and we have our first period, our second period, and our fourth period classes meeting from 9 until 11. And fourth could either be 3-4 or 4-5. And so they will meet between 9 and 11. Then we have an hour of morning work time, so students can work independently, get their homework done. Teachers might pull them for some independent work or some interventions or different things like that. The whole district shuts down from 12 until 1 for lunch. So that way students that might need to get food picked up, you have that time as well. And then from 1 o'clock till 3 o'clock, we have 3 more periods. We have 6th period, 8th period, and 9th period, where your 5-6 class or your 6-7 class would meet during 6th, then your 8th, and then your 9th. And the last thing is another hour of independent work time or time that we can pull for intervention. You'll notice that there is no IE period, so you don't have to worry about that homeroom period, and you don't have to meet in a study hall. You don't have to go to any of the Google Meets for study halls. Those are not created. So you might go to your language arts, your math. If you have a 4-5 study hall, you could skip that, and then you might have a 6-7 social studies, an 8th period unified art, a 9th period social studies class, and you would follow your schedule that way. We do want to make sure that students know that they need to check into school every day through Infinite Campus. I'm going to send out another link to a video to make sure that reminds everybody how to check in for Infinite Campus. But it's really important that everybody knows that these 3 weeks are school days, and we have 15 school days between November 30th and winter break, and attendance is expected for all 15 days. There are laws about truancy, and those are posted here. So we want to make sure that everybody understands that participating and checking in and engaging in these learning opportunities is expected and required. To make this the best it can possibly be, there's 4 groups of people that all need to work together. We have students, we have parents, we have staff, and we have office. So what we've done is just reiterated, we've talked about this at the beginning of the year, what the expectations are for everybody so that all 4 groups of people can work together and make this a successful remote learning experience. For students, the expectation is to attend class every day, to actively engage, to complete all the assignments, to either watch the asynchronous recorded videos or the live sessions and get their independent work done. So every day engaging in what the teachers are expecting us to do is what the student expectation is. And then the biggest thing is to ask for help should you need it while you're working. You can be emailing your teachers, you can come to their office hours, just work with your teachers about what you need help with. In a classroom, it's usually easier to see if you need help because we see you face to face. This is harder, so make sure that you're reaching out for any help you might need. And then the last expectation for all of us is to make sure we're following protocols when we come back to school. But we started the school year so well with that, we anticipate that will be just as successful when we come back. Parents, we're asking you to make sure that your parent portal information is updated with your correct contact information and updated as anytime you need to please make sure you're reading or listening to all of our communication alerts like videos or emails or text messages. And then right now, a big one is to make sure that you call our attendance line for any COVID exposures or positive tests. We are still being asked to keep track of any COVID exposures or positive tests in our community so we can keep a gauge on that. So please make sure that if you do come across a COVID exposure or a positive test, you leave that information on our attendance line so we can have that. You may also, if there's an absence coming up where you're going to miss a few days and you're not able to keep up on work because of an illness or another reason, you can also communicate that on the attendance line. But the big thing is any COVID exposures or positive tests. We're also asking parents to use this email address, chromebookhelp@swcsd.us, if you're having trouble with technology, and then they can help troubleshoot you the issues there, or you can call the school if you have concerns about that as well. And then again, just reminding everybody about the state required masks and monitoring symptoms, which again, we've done a very good job of. When we return to school, we anticipate that being continued. Teachers are expected to use Google Classroom as the primary learning system. So that's where everything's going to be posted. All communication's going to be. Any links to where you need to go should come from Google Classroom. They're expected to teach live. They're expected to post recorded videos and provide independent work so students can interact in all of the ways that they can possibly do. We would really encourage kids to join that live instruction, to be there on the Google Meets. Google Meets might be whole class. Teachers might pull certain groups. They might work with different groups, things like that. So we really anticipate and that's the best way to stay involved, is to be involved with the Google Meets and doing those either as whole class or small groups, depending on what's going on in the teacher's classroom. Teachers are expected to communicate availability for help or for questions on Google Classroom. They should be doing that you should be able to see when teachers are available. They should be able to see what grades there are and updating those grades using the ABCDF scale and posting them in Infinite Campus. So you should be able to see that as well. And then again with the face coverings when we return to school. And then in the office, we are communicating as much as we can, especially with our Friday emails, our newsletters. In February will be our next parent-teacher conference night, so we will communicate that. We are keeping our parent hub up to date for families, and we'll talk about that a little bit more later, but that's a good one-stop shop to bookmark to make sure that you can get the information you need. And we'll provide daily announcements on our YouTube channel that you can view every day to make sure you're staying current on the daily things that we need to know here at Jackson. We will still have food distribution during remote learning. Remote learning food distribution will happen between 11 and 1 on Mondays and Wednesdays. So we don't have any learning going on from 12 until 1 to accommodate from that. If you can pick it up at as early as 11. Students don't need to be present to be able to pick up those meals, and families can pick up meals at any food distribution site for the whole family. So if you have multiple kids in multiple schools, you can pick one site to pick up all your meals. It's important to note that Jackson Middle School is not a pickup site. Like we did in the spring last year, Grove City is the closest and probably easiest site to pick stuff up for our area. So we encourage you to go to Grove City High School to pick up. But there's a whole list of sites that are on our food services website, and that is being emailed out to you as well. So you can take a look at that to find all the food distribution sites. We also want to make sure that you know that our special education intervention specialists will be working closely with your students during this time. Our IEPs and 504s will be accommodated for and made sure that those are being updated and followed through with classwork. And if you have any questions on any of that, please reach out to your case manager and they will help you through. Again, like I said before, here's the Parent Hub. You can take a click on that link and find the document. I would bookmark that document. That's where you can find the daily announcements, the Google Classrooms, any online resources. We have the food distribution website linked there as well. So that's a great one-stop shop to find anything you would need. And last, we just want to remind you to follow us on Twitter at JMS_Jaguars. We'll post things there. Our athletic sites are also being updated at JMS Jags. The district also has their Facebook page. So stay connected to us on social media, and that's another way we will get information out to you. So we really do look forward to having a successful remote learning environment. We hope it's only the 3 weeks because we'd much rather have you in school learning face-to-face. But I think we do have a pretty good system set up. And on the positive side, you have access to seeing teachers all 5 days of the week in this situation. So hopefully we can take advantage of that. So if all 4 of us, students, parents, teachers, and office staff work together, this can be a successful remote learning environment. I wish you a great Thanksgiving holiday. I hope you get an opportunity to relax and enjoy time with family, even if it's just immediate family. And we look forward to a successful 3 weeks of remote learning. Have a great day.